Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Adam Green here with nomorenews.org. Thank you for joining me. Today is Thursday, April 1st, 2021. And today we are going to be completing with part 2 my presentation about the Jewish plan to conquer the Gentiles and rule the world. We ran out of time last time, the other day. It is up on nomorenews.org if you want to watch part 1. After this video is done, I'm going to edit it onto the end of part 1 and repost. This is one that's going to go to the featured videos. Those are the ones that I hope you guys are all sharing out there, that I put a lot of work into, that are made to be shared. And all my videos should be shared, but these are the ones that are like, documentary, a lot of time into. And another reason I stopped the other day, if you guys were watching, was DLive decided that they needed to shut it down. They saw enough. Far too many irrefutable, indisputable, verifiable evidence and arguments and points I was making about their genocidal, psychopathic plan of Kabbalah and Judaism and their end times fantasies about conquering the Gentiles. We're going to finish this up. The end is actually the best part, so this would be good as a standalone video as it is. I also got this email from DLive before we get into it, pick up where we left off on the sequence. And this is the email I got the next morning from DLive. I had applied for the partnership program months ago, never heard anything back. And then right after I got my stream cut and suspended for 24 hours, they said, "Thank you for your recent interest in DLive partnership program. Unfortunately, we can't accept you as a DLive verified partner at this time. The reasons for this decision are as follows: failure to cultivate a healthy community." So, of course, I'm trolled as anybody. They can get trolled, and there's crazy people out there. But to call all of you unhealthy and to say that I'm not allowed to be a partner because all of you are just sick in the head, and everything we're talking about is to DLive must just be anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, even though it's all their own words, their own clips of rabbis, their own straight from their scripture, straight from the Torah. It's irrefutable. That's why they have to suppress it. So DLive, who has banned many people, is on the outs. Yeah, we ban the sick people, the crazy people. Some of them. As long as you can be crazy as long as you're not crazy. But just in the nick of time now, Odyssey, which we got 18 followers over at Odyssey. I'm posting all my videos there in 720 HD high definition. Whereas on BitChute, it's only 480. So for higher quality, it streams really well. Odyssey, it's supposed to be peer-to-peer. And they just announced today that they're rolling out streaming as well. So everybody, it is incredibly important. Go to nomorenews.org. Number 1, do the newsletter. I'm about to start doing a weekly newsletter. And subscribe to BitChute, Odyssey. I'm about to hit 30,000 followers on BitChute. Also, brand new to PeerTube, banned on YouTube, of course. DLive, Trovo. We're streaming on Trovo as well right now. 34 viewers there. And it's just, I really wish this information was getting out more. Telegram. Somebody shared my Bjerknes video I did the other day, the new horrifying Kabbalah secrets exposed with Christopher John Bjerknes. Somebody on Telegram, I don't even know who is, shared it, and it's gotten like 9,000 views on it. And this video gotten a total over 20,000 views. It's really fantastic. This one needs to get more views. And in the final product, when I edit them together, please help me share these guys. I see people spamming my comments everywhere with their favorite creator stuff or something that they made. Help me get the word out about this stuff. That what I covered in this first video and what I'm going to end it with part 2 here is, the reason I'm covering it is because I think it's the most important issue. It's the issue that most interests me, that most concerns me. So check it out. Share it when it's up. All right. Enough of the housekeeping. And I know haven't done any news streams for a while. Let me share this Odyssey in the chat right now and have you guys sign up in the chat. Go subscribe over there at Odyssey. The SEC is already trying to come after them for something to do with their crypto system. I was going to say news. I haven't done a news stream for a while. I've been collecting news stories. Probably on Sunday, I'll probably have Al, maybe the Amalek crew. Angelo might join as well to go through all the news that we've been missing the last week and a half. Some important stories that I haven't covered yet that I'm going to have to get to, but got to finish up this part 2 right now. Let's do it. I thought about, should I do a whole long refresher and review everything I went over in the first one, but I figured most of you guys probably watched part 1. Basically, I covered Kabbalah and the allegory that they have of their creation story with the shattered vessels and the scattering of the divine sparks of light, which they symbolically represents the Jews, and the shards of the vessels that are known as the husks or the shells or the peels. The word is kelipot, and that represents the Gentiles. And I showed example after example that it represents the Gentiles. Esau, the guardian angel of the Gentiles, is Satan. And just you're going to have to watch the whole thing. Watch all part 1 or just watch the new upload when this one's uploaded. So picking up where we left off. Amalek is the biblical arch enemy of the Israelites. They are known to be the first group that attacked the Jews when they were wandering in the desert after the Exodus. That most likely never happened and is completely fictitious. And Amalek is also the grandson of Esau. You'll see how they're always conflating Esau and Amalek. And that's important given also who they say is Esau and Amalek, which in a way generally just means anybody that gets in their way or any Gentile. And sometimes it's more specific in its Christianity or its European people or the Christian West, the New Rome, or European people, white people. And when the Jews are following Kabbalah in Tikkun Olam, that means they are following the 613 mitzvahs, the commandments that they are meant to be Torah observant according to their top sage Maimonides. And 3 of these commandments consist of wiping out the descendants of Amalek. So this isn't a figurative thing here. They're very clear that this means nations. This means descendants. This is a religion of genocide that is fantasizing about an end times genocide of basically, I did a whole documentary just about Amalek. It is up on nomorenews.org. Featured videos just recently: Kabbalah, Amalek, Purim, Holocaust, 9/11, and the destruction of America. Nothing but from the horse's mouth, clips of rabbis explaining these things. And then Amalek, the eternal enemy of the Israelites. That's another hour compilation supercut of rabbis explaining Amalek. They're waging war on you and you don't even know it. And they're promoting their war on you, Kabbalah, as if it's the solution that's going to create a world utopia. So these commandments, remember what Amalek did to the Jewish people. That means you have a blood libel on your head. They'll never forget. They have a chip on their shoulder, a vendetta to get revenge and triumph over their enemies, the Gentiles, in the world to come, or in the end times. And it says, not to forget Amalek's atrocities, an ambush on our journey from Egypt in the desert. 3 commandments: to remember what Amalek did to you and to wipe out the descendants of Amalek. And they believe this has to happen before their Moshiach and the temple. And the other important thing I wanted to add is that this is the theme that we always see: never forget the Holocaust, never forget 9/11, never forget what Amalek did to you. That's where this comes from. Whenever you hear never forget, that's what they're invoking, is their 2 millennia long vendetta, their bloodlust, their death wish for Amalek. The connection between Esau and Edom and Amalek, they're often conflated. Sometimes they differentiate them, but ultimately they will suffer the same fate when you just read across all of their prophecies. It says Esau, the father of the Edomites, and then it goes through all of his ancestors, and Amalek is one of them. Exodus 17:14, I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. They not only do they want to eradicate you and annihilate you, us, I should say, but they want to Amalek under heaven. They want to erase the memory that you ever existed. Erase your remembrance from under heaven. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up this parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever. Perish forever. Now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox, sheep, camel, and ass. There's a whole story about how they have to destroy absolutely everything. The other people they conquer, they can kill just the men and keep the young women, the virgin women, for themselves. But with Amalek, you have to destroy everything, including his animals, because you can't even let the remembrance of him exist, because you would remember, oh, that's Amalek's animals. And mind you, this is descendants. The 613 Commandments, Chabad.org. Here's from some Torah commentary. It says, I see but now, I perceive it but not in the near future. A star, a king has gone forth from Jacob, and a staff has arisen. The Moshiach will be magnified from Israel. He will smash the corners, kill the leaders of Moab, and impale all the sons of Shais. He will rule over mankind. Edom will be a possession, and Seir shall become the possession of his enemies. But Israel will triumph, be successful in enterprise. A ruler shall come from the house of Jacob, who will annihilate the survivors of the city of Edom. When Balaam saw Amalek, he declared his parable and said, Amalek was the first among the nations to fight with Israel, and his end will be the total destruction. Listen to this rabbi explain that they need to destroy Amalek, rebuild the temple, and then anoint their king of the world, the Moshiach.
And he says the root of this commandment is to implant into our hearts that any enemy that oppresses the Jewish people are considered to be an enemy against God.
So if you're against the Jews, you're against God, and you are evil and you are satanic. Anybody that opposes the Zionist agenda is Amalek. Anyone that resists to wanting to be their Noahide Goy slave, Shabos Goy, and serve them as Esau is Amalek. And really, regardless if you're Amalek or Esau, you're going to be destroyed either way. But you're against them, you're against God. The Amalek documentary gets in. They also compare Amalek to non-believers, so people that don't believe that the Torah is real, don't believe that the God of the universe is the God that chose them. Basically, Jewish doctrine is if you don't worship the God that they say chose them, you don't worship the God that chose the Jews, or they're going to kill you. That's their religion. Anything else is idol worship. It's in violation of the Noahide laws.
And therefore, according to their evil and their cunningness of their plans, so too will be their punishment and their downfall. And therefore we find by Amalek, they wanted to harm the Jews, and they were the first to harm the Jews. Therefore, God tells us we should erase their memory, and we should eradicate them from the face of the earth. The Rambam says that there are 3 mitzvahs that the Jewish people were commanded to do when they entered into the land of Israel. And they are, number 1.
Which they did in 1948, which all the rabbis claim was part of The Holocaust was all predicted in the Zohar and Kabbalah, and it was God's divine plan, and it was their punishment and atonement in Teshuvah, the burnt offering ritual for the great return. It was all coded, the year in the Hebrew calendar and the number and the mystical gematria 6 million figure with their numerology, all of it.
One, to establish a king for themselves. Number two, ulahachriz zarei shel Amalek, and to cut off the offsprings of the nation of Amalek.
To cut off the offsprings. So they do this in stages. They wage war against Amalek secretly in stages through deception and through the sneakiness of the snake. See, they believe that because Esau and Amalek are born genetically predisposed to be anti-Semitic and to want to kill them because we're jealous that they stole the birthright, and this twisted Jacob-Esau dualist mindset, they're justified to waging war against you deceptively and secretly because you're evil and you supposedly want to hate them and attack them for no reason. It's a sick projection inversion trick.
Ulahachriz zarei shel Amalek, and to cut off the offsprings of the nation of Amalek.
We see demographic transfers, open borders, Barbara Specters, Hayes, the ADL, their agenda to push multiculturalism and diversity in European countries. We see birth rates going down. We see men and women's fertility going down, sperm counts, the BPA, the endocrine disruptors, the phthalates, the mRNA vaccines, the poisons, the fluoride, who knows, all of it, decreasing birth rates. They have an agenda, and it involves cutting off the seed of Amalek.
The offsprings of the nation of Amalek. And number three, the Livnai's Beis HaBechira, and to build a holy temple. Why these three mitzvahs in this order? First, establish a king. Then, number two, to destroy Amalek. And number three, to build the holy temple. But from here we see that in order for the holy temple, which is a meeting place between man and God, to be complete, you first need to establish for yourself a king, and number two, to destroy Amalek. The throne of God is incomplete until we destroy Amalek.
See, their messianic age will not occur until they destroy Amalek, and they straight up just say Amalek is Germany, Amalek is white people, Amalek is anybody that opposes their agenda. Anybody that doesn't want to worship them is Amalek, basically. They even call Iranians and Palestinians Amalek. It's anybody, because they claim all the Gentiles were mixed at one point. Now we have Pesachim 5a. This is the William Davidson Talmud, legitimate source here. The Sefaria, the main Jewish database online, not a conspiracy theory, anti-Semitism website. It straight up says, to eradicate the descendants of Esau, to the construction of the temple, and to name the Messiah. And notice, it says, they usually say, and I've always seen rabbis explain it, that it's eradicate the descendants of Amalek. But you can see here, they write here Esau. So they ultimately suffer the same fate to be destroyed in the end times. All the Gentiles, Ishmael as well, which is the Arabs. That's who destroys each other in the end times, Ishmael and Edom, or Ishmael and Esau, Islam and Christianity. To eradicate the descendants of Esau, they're entitled to three matters, the Jewish people, what they need to do. Now listen to Rabbi Mizrachi say that the Goy have no share in the world to come.
And all Goyim is Amalek.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. He said all Goy are Amalek. Did you notice that? All Goyim, all the nations are Amalek. All the Gentiles need to be eradicated. The shells of darkness, the Kelipa, must be annihilated, eradicated in the world to come.
And all Goyim is Amalek.
The only ones in the world that remember Amalek are us. If after 10 generations we would forget about Amalek, there'd be no Amalek. So what does the Torah say? Zachor eis asher atza lecha Amalek. You better remember Amalek. Loi tishkach, never forget. Mochei timcha zecher Amalek. But what are we supposed to do? Forget? Eradicate? Eradicate means there's no commemoration, no Amaleki archaeological find, no Amaleki dog, no Amaleki cow, no Amaleki sheep, no Amaleki house, no Amaleki well. Remember Amalek, never to forget Amalek.
Think about how over George Floyd, where the trial's going on right now, and it turns out he most likely overdosed on drugs that he tried to swallow his stash as he was getting arrested. So all of that triggered how many statues of European people to get pulled down across the world? Jews were creating lists on Twitter, threads of all the European statues in Europe where the leader was supposedly anti-Semitic that they wanted to remove down. This is blotting out the memory of Amalek to these people. When turning countries that were indigenous people there were all European and had white skin, and now they're opening the borders and bringing in tons of mass immigration and refugees to replace their culture. This is by design. This is engineered. This is their religious agenda.
The whole mitzvah sounds so puzzling. And who's Amalek today? So the Rambam says the mitzvah of Mechias Amalek is to hate Rishoyim. It's a contemporary mitzvah.
Contemporary, that means today. This applies today. They're supposed to eradicate Amalek today. Cut off the seed of Amalek today.
The Ramban, in his addition to mitzvahs that the Rambam neglected to write, Nasei Zayin, V'chein etztavinu b'schira zu kedei lizkor, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will be moiche, not just for no reason, the name of Amalek, eradicate. Meichem losoy oleinu. He loves us. Listen to the Lashon of the Ramban. It's a very contemporary Lashon. Lin koim, to take vengeance. HaChamas, that's what he writes. HaChamas.
Well, they teach Christians turn the other cheek and love thy enemy and who persecutes you. They talk about vengeance. They can't wait to get vengeance on the Gentiles. All right, there we go. What's going on?
So HaKadosh Baruch Hu will take our vengeance. You know, it's like Rashi Yeshonim says, Bikei Shankiv Leisha B'Shalva, Yeshiv Yaakov, Nitzoitz Echad Yoitze Memafuach Shalcha. It's going to take down Esav.
See how he kind of whispered it at the end? He just says, we're going to take down the Gentiles. That's what he just said. Well, Jacob's going to take down Esav, which means Esau. They're just saying this out in the open on YouTube. And then the few people out there that pick up on it, like myself, are banned from all of getting the message out everywhere and viciously slandered and suppressed and attacked and deplatformed.
You know, it's like Rashi Yeshonim says, Bikei Shankiv Leisha B'Shalva, Yeshiv Yaakov, Nitzoitz Echad Yoitze Memafuach Shalcha. It's going to take down Esav.
Going to take down Esav. We have Snorforno Genesis. I believe this is written in 1600 or 1100 by a rabbi. I can't remember, but listen to what it says here. It says, the world means he will remain at the heel and the tail end. This is the base future of the word. Our sages who named Esau's brother Jacob, the reason for this unusual formulation being that after the destruction of the kingdom of Edom and other nations, so after all the destruction of the Gentiles, successor of Esau, only Jacob and his descendants will remain. Our sages base all this on Jeremiah 46:28. I will make an end of all nations, but I will not make an end of you. And they say Esau is America. They say Edom is America.
Amalek has another face that is not very known unless you go back and read about Esav, the grandfather himself. What's the third face? The grandfather had the face of a Bal Ta'ava. He loved food. He had desires. He coveted. This Ta'ava is very much seen in the nation that Esav formed. Which nation did Esav form? Not Amalek. Remember, Amalek is a grandson. It is an offshoot somewhat. It is a descendant. It is the concentration of the bad. But Esav himself is not Amalek. Esav is the father of Edom, the Edomites. And there are a lot of nations in the world that belong to Edom. The Roman Empire is all Edom. They are related, aren't they? Grandfather and grandson. You will see that today it is possible to recognize who Amalek is and who is Edom. But I just wanted to wake up those of you who are maybe falling asleep that there is a big relationship that can be observed today between the grandfather and the grandson. In other words, even though Ba Sancheriv ubilbel et haolam, Sancheriv, the Syrian king, one of the Syrian kings, came and mixed up everybody, and Amalek is scattered everywhere, including in Iran. Haman Rasha, we just read about him. He's Migeza Amalek. What is Amalek doing in Iran? So Sancheriv came and mixed everybody up, moved everybody around. So we do have Amalek all over, but we will soon see who he is. I just wanted to talk a little bit about this face of Edom, because this is especially a problem in the generation of Mashiach, our generation.
See, this applies in the end times. Now I'm going to read the prophecy, the vision of Obadiah 1 through 20 about Edom. This is what they believe. And, you know, before I start this, let me show you, just in case you missed it in the first one, who is Edom? Who do they say explicitly is Edom that needs to be destroyed in the end times? Doesn't matter if they're Amalek or Edom, either way, they're destroyed.
So who's Edom? Edom includes most of Europe. It includes the United States of America. It's the Roman Empire that was never destroyed.
Edom becomes America. Why? Because America is Edom, after all.
It's the end of days. You're going to need the iron of Esav, which represents Edom, which is the west.
How crazy is it that there's rabbis all over the internet in all of their writings openly saying that America needs to be destroyed before their Messiah can come, and they're chanting and praying for their Messiah? How is this not a household thing and common knowledge to everybody out there? Well, I know why. It's because it's all suppressed. My videos, if they weren't suppressed, they would be getting millions of views on YouTube. They were getting hundreds of thousands 5 years ago when I barely knew, I knew nothing close to what I know now.
Europe and the Americas.
The land of Edom, the nation of Edom, which in our generation, this is the Christians it's talking about.
ועשיו זה הנוצרים, אדום.
Le Mashiach viendra que quand Edom, l'Europe, la chrétienté sera totalement tombée. Donc je vous pose la question, c'est une bonne nouvelle que l'islam envahisse l'Europe? C'est une excellente nouvelle, ça annonce la venue de Mashiach. Excellente nouvelle. Vous allez le payer très cher, les Européens. Mais à un point, vous n'avez même pas...
The Europeans will pay for it.
Et vous n'aurez pas où fuir. Parce que tout le
You
monde...
have no place to run. They want vengeance.
Disparaîtra quand Edom, c'est pour ça que le...
Edom, Christianity,
se trouve là-bas. Quand cet endroit-là
it will be gone. Islam is the broom. You have to know it.
Esav, who is the symbol of all the nations, Christians or not.
Esav?
Hear that? Christians or not. It's all the nations. Esau represents all the nations.
Christians or not.
Esav, who in modern day terms is really basically, certainly one of them is America. It all started, of course, with Esav. Esav became Edom, which is a nation. Edom became Rome. The Torah says Esav is Edom. The Gemara says, the Talmud says, that Edom is Rome, Zuroimi.
As our sages said, Halachahi, Esav sonne le Yaakov. It is a law of nature that Esav will always hate the Jewish people. Will hate Jacob. Jacob is the Jewish people. And Esav is the non-Jewish world. Esav finally separated from Yaakov, and all we have is Yaakov Avinu, whereas the nations are Esav. Like our sages said, Halacha hi Esav soneh leYaakov. It's a law of nature that Esav, which means, of course, it's the name, the identity of the non-Jewish world. They
Esav is the identity of the non-Jewish world.
hate the Jewish people. But we have to keep in mind, we Jews have to keep in mind that the reason God wants.
So whenever you hear Jews kvetching about anti-Semitism every day with their hundreds of billion-dollar funded organizations that go around trying to deplatform everybody talking about their supremacist, chosenite supremacy theology, just remember it's their religion that they're persecuted and that we hate them and that we're born hating them for no reason.
Wanted that this way is so that the Jewish people will know that we are different if we are considered to be the nation of God.
Now we have Shnei Lukot HaBeret. This is the one that's written in 1600 Ottoman Palestine by a couple of rabbis. It says here, well, it is agreed that it is the function of the Jewish people to destroy the descendants of Esau. The Jewish religion is about destroying Gentiles. And they're exalted and paraded around and pop, like mainstream media and pop culture and politicians have like this respect, the wise sages, the rabbis and their morals and their fear of God and their religion. Like these people are megalomaniacs, they're psychopaths, they're genocidal, and they're delusional, they're insane. Sociopaths. It is agreed that the function of the Jewish people is to destroy the Gentiles, and the flax carried by the camels, and sparks, the divine sparks of light in Kabbalah, originating from either Jacob's smithy, and I covered this screenshot in the first video. Björknes explained to me that a smithy is the anvil that a blacksmith hits, and when you hit it, the sparks go flying. So it's just talking about, it is referring to the descendants of Jacob, though. The Jews are the sparks of light in Kabbalah, is what they believe. The Gentiles are the kelipot, the shards that conceal their light that need to be annihilated. This is what the rabbi says about America and the Zohar, 9/11 being prophesied in the Zohar and America being destroyed.
2 buildings. Wow. You know, I'll tell you something. I think I already told you this, by the way. That 1 week before the World Center, World Trade Center, those 2 great edifices of tremendous architecture, they were destroyed, in such a way that nobody still understands what happened. How come they were brought down in such a massive way? 1 week before, one of the great rabbis in Israel, a Hasidic rabbi, an Admor, he came to visit the Square Rebbe in Square, New Square. And he came with some people, some of his disciples in the car. They prayed mincha with minyan in front of everybody passing in Manhattan. Where? Right there, near the World Center. After he finished the davening, the prayer, he said, say bye-bye to those buildings because you are not going to see them no more.
The top Kabbalah Hasidic rabbi in Israel came and visited Hasidic royalty in New York, and they stopped in front of the World Trade Center a week before 9/11 and pointed to the towers and said, say bye-bye to those buildings because you're not going to see them anymore. Joaquin and Boaz, the 2 pillars of Solomon's temple, the 2 temples being destroyed.
It's unbelievable. There will be 2 big buildings in the land of Edom, which today we relate the word Edom to America.
They relate the word Edom to America.
And those are the biggest, the tallest buildings in the world. And they will be brought down completely.
Okay, the verses say, who can bring me down to the ground? This is what happens to Edom. You make your nest among the stars. You soar like the eagle. From there I will bring you down. Oh, what a disaster awaits you. That's the prophecy. Obadiah will be cut down in the slaughter. You will be because of the violence against your brother Jacob, you will be covered with shame.
You will be destroyed forever.
Such a loving religion, right? To want to destroy all the non-Jews. What kind of religion has secrets and doesn't allow converts and wants to destroy everybody that's not in the religion? It's a psychopathic cult, is what it is.
Tallest buildings in the world, and they will be brought down completely, and that will be the sign of the beginning of tremendous wars.
It says here, the beginning of tremendous wars, too. Netanyahu's war on terror.
But on Mount Zion will be deliverance. It will be holy, and Jacob will possess his inheritance. Jacob will be a fire, and Joseph a flame. Esau, the Gentiles, will be stubble, and they will set him on fire and destroy them. There will be no survivors from Esau, the Gentiles. The Lord has spoken.
That will end only in the coming of the Mashiach. He said, say bye-bye to those buildings because you are not going to see them no more.
Malachi 1, 4, and 5.
Edom may say, though we have been crushed, we will rebuild the ruins. But this is what the Lord Almighty says. They may build, but I will demolish. The twin towers were demolished. They will be called the wicked land, a people always under the wrath of the Lord.
And this reminds me, the university presentation, Professor Rabbi said that the reason given that the Chabad Lubavitch moved to America and New York to set up their headquarters, because that was the most impure country and place in the world. Edom, New York, Crown Heights.
I mean, it's unbelievable. Only in the coming of the Mashiach. He said, say bye-bye to those buildings because you are not going to see them no more. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Edom becomes America. Why? Because America is Edom, after all.
Esav, who in modern day terms is really based.
All right, that's a different mix. Now, moving on, we have Zohar 146a. Remember, Kabbalah is based upon the Zohar. It says, come and behold, when Jacob arose against Samael. Samael is Satan in Kabbalah. He is the guardian angel of Esau. Satan is the guardian angel of all the non-Jews. That's what they believe in Judaism. Samael fought and wrestled with him, but Jacob overpowered him in several ways. He conquered the serpent. They think Gentiles are the seed of the serpent of Samael with cunning and subtlety. So the Jews wage war against the Gentiles with cunning and subtlety. Oh, you thought that was just an anti-Semitic trope, that they're deceptive and that they use usury to reign over the nations, which is another commandment directly from the Torah we'll cover later. Kol HaTorah, I don't even know what this is, to be honest, but this is Sefaria. This is the Jewish database run by Jews, not an anti-Semitic website. It says, place it in the ears of Joshua, that I will surely erase the memory of Amalek. In Gematria, the word in the ears of equals 70, almost like the 70 nations that must be destroyed, that also represents the Gentiles. Secret. 70 in Gematria equals secret, for the way to fight Amalek is first secretly, as already explained above. Oh, there's no conspiracies, there's no plots. That's just an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory and a trope. You need to be banned. Because work in gathering in the exiles is the waging war against Amalek in order to subdue Satan in the gates of Jerusalem. And one of their stories to go along with the theme of cutting off the seed of Amalek is they castrate Samael in heaven so that he can't have any more offspring. Joshua is part of the mission of the Moshiach ben Yosef. The Vilna Gaon also hinted at what is found in the verse in the honor of God. to conceal a matter, and those two words equal see above who fear him. So to conceal the matter, I think is what we're getting there. Now, Chabad.org, Jacob and Esau in the Bible, it says, ultimately though, only then would Esau have any power over Jacob. Ultimately though, Jacob would triumph and would have mastery over Esau and all his descendants. This is straight from Chabad.org. It says, even in the refinement of Esau required him to deal with a world of lies and deceit, he would remain unaffected. Moreover, Jacob would outsmart the world and cheat it, so to speak, in order to refine it. So this is the ends justifies the means. It's a good thing that Jacob deceived his father by putting on the skins, the furs, to pretend to be Esau, because Esau was evil. So Jacob had to have the birthright. That's why he grabbed the heel as he was the second twin to come out. So they're justified in outsmarting chutzpah and cheating the world in order to make it better. Tikkun olam is to heal the world, to refine the world. But they also say everywhere that the Kelly pot and Amalek cannot be refined. There is no good in the Gentiles, say the Chabad rabbi leaders. More from Chabad.org, it says, that is why, say the Kabbalists, God created evil. Darkness exists so that it should be transformed into light. Evil exists to be exploited by goodness. So what they're saying there is Gentiles exist to serve Jews, also to be exploited by the Jews. The soul of the Gentiles, Esau, knows this, that he exists solely to serve his younger brother. This is the stuff, again, that they write, that they say on YouTube, on camera, that goes out on the internet, that they write on their websites. Imagine what they're saying in private if this is what they're putting out publicly. And we're lectured by these people about white supremacy and anti-Semitism and hate speech. Unbelievable. And it's been so effective for them, so successful for them, and we're being crushed. That's why Esau hates Jacob so much, because he knows that his hate is not his own. So it's just, you're so irrational. You hate us for no reason. There's no explanation for anti-Semitism. Shulchan Aruch, more from Sefaria, it says, if he can trick them so that they will think he is an idolater, this is permitted. This is what it teaches in the Talmud, that the Jews can trick the Gentiles and the Christians or the Islam so that they think he is an idolater. This is permitted. To lie to pretend to be a Christian when you're really Jewish. That's what they're allowed to do. It says in the Talmud. Chabad.org, telling the truth and when it is permissible to be less than honest. What does Chabad say? There are circumstances under which one is allowed to be deceptive in order to recoup losses that are owed to him. So all you got to do is come up with a little story or a narrative that you've been persecuted all throughout history for no reason, and you can justify and rationalize that a lot of things are owed to you. And that justifies a whole lot of lies in order to get them. When you feel that you're entitled, that you're chosen, and you have a divine spark, and everybody is impure Satan that hates you for no reason, that's gonna create a lot of hostility towards the non-Jews, a lot of deception and justification of lies and evil. More from Sefaria, it says, in the future, as the Messiah, however, he will take revenge on the forces of Esau in the manner of the serpent. Also, they believe that it's okay to lie, as they are told, that a lie told to promote peace, as shall be explained, is not included at all in the prohibition of telling lies. So keep in mind that they believe that Amalek is evil, is Satan and Esau, and hates them and wants to kill them. So getting rid of Esau, getting rid of Amalek in their mind is promoting peace. So they're allowed to lie and wage war by deception and secrecy and exploitation and trickery. It isn't. to promote peace is not included at all in the prohibition of telling lies. And then we have the head of the Sanhedrin in Israel, Rabbi Yisrael Ariel, says in his speech recorded by David Sheen, "When thou drawest nigh unto a city to fight against it, then proclaim peace unto it." What is meant by peace? Maimonides says that they must agree to follow the 7 Noahide laws. So, in order to promote peace, they can lie, and peace means imposing the 7 Noahide laws on the Gentile nations. That means getting Gentile nations to submit and worship Jews as God's chosen people, the nation of priests, and be devoted servants, Shabbos Goys. Otherwise, you are Amalek, and they will destroy you. Straight from the Zohar now. Straight from the source. Zohar 1:139b. First, for that dish, the porridge, the red lentils, by selling Jacob his birthright, Esau became a slave. What a lovely religion. You know, the ethics and the morals, the Judeo-Christian values. It's all about enslaving the Gentiles. How about that? Instantly, Jacob knew for that one goat that the children of Israel sacrificed on Yom Kippur to his level, which is Satan's level, he becomes a slave to his descendants and will not accuse them. The descendants, America. We won't accuse them. We're not allowed to be anti-Semitic. It's against basically taboo and against the law. You'll be censored. You won't have a big platform anywhere. You won't be allowed in the circles. This also refers to, Bjerknes gets so deep into this in Beware the World to Come, the whole Yom Kippur sacrificial scapegoat ritual where they scapegoat and heap the sins of the Jews onto the Gentiles, where Esau represents the goat that is chased out into the wilderness to Azazel, who is Samael or Belial, all names for Satan. Zohar 1:145a. By your sword shall you live, and you shall serve your brother. That's what Esau had to do. This has not yet happened, for Esau is not yet a servant of Jacob. This is because Jacob has no need for him now, and he repeatedly called Esau my master. So the Jews don't have full control. Some Gentiles are around and have influence. Because Jacob looked far ahead and saved it to the end of days. So in the end of days, they will enslave and conquer and destroy the Gentiles. This title of this presentation is not, as I've said many times, this is not hyperbole. This is what their doctrines are. Zohar 1:166b. And he commanded them, saying, Thus shall you speak to my lord Esau. Your servant Jacob says thus, I have sojourned with Laban and stayed there until now. At once Jacob introduced himself as Esau's servant, so that Esau would not take heed of the blessings that his father had bestowed on Jacob. Jacob put them aside for the end of days. This goes along, as I cover in the first half, about Jacob humbling himself before Esau, hiding their wealth, hiding their power, so that they can accumulate their wealth and influence and then rule over and conquer Esau in the end of days. Wonder if I'll get any rabbis to debate me on this. I think Duvid's the only one that'll come on. Zohar says, Jacob, who humbled himself before Esau so that Esau should later become his servant. Oh, the Jews are such victims. They're so persecuted. They're so powerless. That's their narrative. Let people serve you and nations bow down to you. They want us to bow down to them. Literally, they want us to bow down.
But the first question to China, you know what should be? The Chinese should say, oh my God, this is a Jew. Let's bow.
The Chinese person should bow to the Jew. They believe all Gentiles should bow to the Jew. And it says, it was not yet time for Jacob to rule over Esau. Jacob left this to happen at a later time. All of Kabbalah and Zohar is about ruling over the Gentiles, conquering and eradicating and annihilating the Gentiles. This is the Midrash, the Talmud. It says, the first, i.e. Esau, came forth ruddy. It was proper for him to receive 2 shares, but I did not act this way. Instead, Jacob receives 2 shares. Oh, how nice of you, God. Imagine worshiping a God that chose the Jews. Instead, Jacob received 2 shares, this world and the world to come. Esau said so to Jacob, let us go on our journey. Let us both walk in the world together. Jacob said to take him, take your world and go away. Well, that's not very nice, Jacob. Thus it is stated, please let my Lord go away until I come to my Lord in Seir. That's where Edom is. I went through the scripture. Jacob did nothing. He shall go there, for Savior shall go up to Mount Zion to judge the mountain of Esau. Yet I have loved Jacob. This is the important part now. Jacob is a partner with Esau in this world, but Esau is no partner with Jacob in the world to come. Solomon said, let it be for you alone and not for the strangers, the Gentiles, the nations, the Goyim, along with you. Esau is the strangers, the Goyim, and they shall not partner with the Jews in the world to come. Zohar again. The blessing he gave to Jacob. But at first, Jacob received only above, the heaven above, and Esau received below, the earth. After the Moshiach will arise, Jacob will receive above and below, and Esau will lose everything. The Gentiles will lose everything. From the Zohar. He will have no portion and inheritance or remembrance, because Esau is essentially Amalek. Blot out the memory of Amalek in the world. No portion in the world to come. Bjerknes's book, Where the World to Come. This whole documentary is only scratching the surface. He gets so much deeper into it in there. Esau, the Gentiles, will lose everything, and Jacob will inherit both worlds, this world and the world to come. Now moving on to Second Esdras, chapter 6, for some more insight. Notice here it said the first. Esau is the first. They have this world, but Jacob gets the world to come. Second Esdras chapter 6 says, or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth, so this world and the world to come. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. Grabbing the heel is an idiom, which means it really means to deceive. His name means to deceive. It's not just a trope. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. That clearly means to them,
the Gentiles are the end of the world, and the Jews are the beginning of it that followeth in the world to come.
And it says, because thou madest all this I have spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. They believe that the world only exists for them, that it was only made for them, and that Gentiles are only here like beasts in the field to serve them. The world is made for them. As for the other people, the other side, the Gentiles, the shards, the darkness, the impure, the unclean, which also come of Adam. Well, they actually believe that we're not from Adam, as I covered earlier also. Thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle. The Gentiles are spittle. They're garbage. And hast likened an abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. These heathen, the Gentiles, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us, but they will rule in the world to come. Isaiah 40:15, behold the nations, the Gentiles, the Goyim. This translated in the Torah means, behold the Goyim are as a drop of a bucket. I could do the voice.
Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket, and are counted as the small dust of the balance. Behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing.
Also in Edris, it says, he answered me saying, so God answered saying, the Most High hath made this world for many, but the world to come for few. Only Jacob in the world to come. No Gentiles. And comparing Gentiles to spittle and drops that fall from the vessel, like the vessels that were shattered in Kabbalah, the shards, the kelipot that conceal the divine light, the sparks of light, that's the Gentiles in Kabbalah. Connects there. We're almost done here. Megillus 6a, the Talmud says, a verse dealing with Jacob and Esau. Quote,
and the one people shall be stronger than the other people. Genesis 25:23.
Teaching that when one nation rises, the other necessarily falls. So that means in order for Israel to rise and fulfill their destiny of being the center of the world, the capital of the world, ruling the world with their Moshiach in the temple, they must destroy Esau and Amalek in the West and America and Europe. The one people shall be stronger than the other, Jacob and Esau. Also says, the sages said that fortunes of Caesarea, so Rome, which represents Rome, and Jerusalem are diametric opposites. If therefore someone says to you that both cities are destroyed, do not believe him. Similarly, if he says to you that they are both settled in tranquility, do not believe them. So they cannot coexist with us. That's what they believe. It's either us or them, and they believe they win in the end. And they are fulfilling all of this, and they are in such control, and they're having so much success with all of this, with their control over the Christian Zionist and the Vatican. If, however, he says to you that Rome is destroyed and Jerusalem is settled, or that Jerusalem is destroyed and Rome is settled, believe him. I shall be filled with her and laid to waste. If this city is filled, that one is laid to waste. And if that city is filled, this one is laid to waste. The two cities cannot coexist. The Gentiles cannot coexist with the Jews in the world to come. Israel 365 News, I did a whole video on this, and this just came out recently, January 14th, 2021. Top rabbi in Israel says, America is collapsing. Israel must step up as new world superpower. Step up into the vacuum. Fulfill their destiny. Fulfill their prophecies. One of Israel's most respected rabbis, Eliyahu, has released a statement on the status of America as a waning world superpower and a message of hope for Israel to fill the void. Chief rabbi and a member of the Chief Rabbinate Council of Israel, like an official government rabbi. Here it is explained by Rabbi Mizrachi how the Jews are going to leave. The scattered light is going to be gathered back and make aliyah to Israel, and then Edom and Esau is going to wither into and be destroyed, as it said earlier.
The Jews run the show in the world, not because they want, because that's what God wants. And it's written in the Torah that the non-Jews admit that is the word of God. If they didn't admit, what's the proof? But in the Torah it says that in every nation you will always be the highlight of the place. Even though we have very small community compared to America, 300 million Americans, 5 million Jews. There's no comparison. But the Jews are everywhere. Politics, all the assistants of Trump, Jews. All the assistants of Sleepy Joe, Jews. Obama, Jews. Everyone around there, Reform Jews, Conservative Jews, Chabadnik, this, convert. It's all somehow. Same thing was in Spain. Same thing was in many different countries. When the country hosts the Jews, and the Jews live in that country with freedom, God bless this place thanks to the Jews there. As soon as they torture them, or kill them, or throw them out of the country, the end of this empire shortly after comes. Let's go one by one. The Roman Empire, when they started with the Jews, that was their end. After the Jews, no more Roman Empire. The Greeks, same story. Babylonians disappeared. Persians, Achashverosh, disappeared. In Iran, modern days, the Iranian Shah was very good to the Jews. Iran was the fourth powerful country in the world in his time. After Russia, America, I think Germany, Iran is paradise.
How many countries have they destroyed already? We need to take these threats seriously. How many empires were brought down by these people? How many? Russia, Germany. You don't think they'll do it to America? Armenian genocide.
So wealthy, selling oil, controlling the market.
They brag about it.
Iran was an empire 30 years ago. They kicked all the Jews ran away when Khomeini came. They went back in time 1,000 years. There's nobody else want to eat there. The end of Iran came. Germany, they killed the Jews. They used to be a massive empire. They stayed a small country now, nothing special.
Remember, they had Germany marked down, pinned as Amalek in the Talmud hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, if not 1,000 years, before World War II. They connected them all to Amalek, Hitler to Haman. The whole narrative. This isn't a coincidence. It's been engineered.
Spain, same thing. The Jews were in power. They did the Spanish Inquisition. Spain and Portugal, nothing is left from them. Russia, there were many hundreds of thousands of Jews there. Russia was very powerful empire. Everyone was checking from them. The Jews left Russia. The USSR collapsed. Now the Jews gonna run away from America. Most of them assimilated. So
Okay, this is the important part. The Jews are going to run away from America. He's just openly saying on YouTube that America is going to be destroyed.
the Jews gonna run away from America. Most of them assimilated, so they'll become goyim already, their children. So they have nothing to wear because they're not Jewish. But those who are still religious, they will all get up. Within a year or 2 or 5, we'll all have to run away from here. Once we will leave this place, Hashem will bury America. That's what's going to happen.
Hashem will bury America. That's what's going to happen because he's read all the prophecies that I just showed you. That they're plotting the destruction of Christianity, Europe, and all of the Gentiles. America.
Not because I'm some kind of a prophet. I'm not giving you any prophecies here. I'm just describing to you a divine formula. The chosen people, where they're going to live, and you'll be good to them and nice to them, I will bless you from the place. The Torah has a source for it.
It says here that the Kadosh Baruch
Hu, the source for it, Jeremiah 30:11,
says, I am with you and I will save you, declares the Lord. Though I completely destroy all the nations among which I scatter you, I will not completely destroy you. I will discipline you, but only in due measure. I will not let you go entirely
unpunished. That's the divine code. Completely destroy all of the Goyim nations where they are scattered. Just like they say in Kabbalah, the sparks of light are shattered and scattered as the Jews go into exile into the Kelly pot, the Gentile, the unclean, the darkness, the impure nations, and then they destroy them.
It says here that the Kadosh Baruch Hu will arise and will destroy completely the city of Edom and will completely uproot them.
Edom, America, completely destroy, completely uproot.
Where you see path of war, murder, control, aggressive, oppression, you know it's coming from an Esav. The lineage of Esav end up in Germania, in Germany, to become from the Zerah of Amalek. Track the lineage of the so-called Aryan race in Germany to Esav. That's where they came from. So where you see acts of war, when you want to deal with things, it cannot be dealt in any other way but war and oppression and violence and control and all these things. Just know it's coming from Esav. But don't worry for 1 second, because the time for war is about to be over. And
they cry about scapegoating, that they're always the scapegoats. It's their religion to scapegoat the Gentiles and then to deceive and lie about it.
The descendant of Yaakov is going to come to do time of peace. So right after war comes peace. Redemption is coming with destruction. It has to come with destruction. How can you have a new beginning if the old reality doesn't get completely destroyed? So if we have...
Their religion is about destroying all of reality. These religions that yearn for the destruction of the world, that want an apocalypse and the tribulation and raptures and Gog and Magog and Armageddon wars and plagues and birth pangs of the Moshiach. It's so dangerous for so much of the planet to believe these things.
If we're going to have one kingdom that will be controlled and ruled by Mashiach, then all the rest of the governments have to crumble into pieces, and anything else with it, whether it's the economy or what.
Thanks, communism. All the governments have to crumble into pieces while Zionism builds up Israel.
To crumble into pieces, and anything else with it, whether it's the economy or whatever system, it has to crumble before Mashiach is going to come. So either way you're looking at it, it's going to have to come with a destruction. But the main message that we're getting here is that you're worried about a war, you're worried about an Esav that is going to come now to oppress us, coming to us with forms of war and trickery and murder. That's what you're getting impressed from. The control of evil in this world right now is by Esav, by the descendants of Esav. Sof shlitat Esav litmaet. That the end of the control of Esav is to diminish and diminish and diminish. You're not going to see it, by the way. You're not going to see how it's diminishing. You're just seeing fear. And you know, when evil fear.
Oh, how dare the Gentiles fear that you want to eradicate them and that it's happening, and it happens gradually and in stages. And then when people start to blow the whistle about it, you go, oh, you ban them and you're evil and you're an anti-Semite. I mean, we're in the Twilight Zone. This is real. It feels like we're in a dystopian end times fantasy film. Hollywood's scripted end times, Kabbalah, world domination. Kabbalah in Judaism is basically like a Jewish supremacist manifesto about conquering the world.
Feels that it's about to lose, then it pulls out all its guns. Let me go completely whack on them. You know where you saw that clearly? At 1945, when the Germans, יימח שמם, they saw they're about to lose the war, then they went totally crazy with their annihilation. The doses, not the doses, the amount of people, Jews being killed in concentration camps in 44 and 45 became worse because they knew they were about to lose it. They just kill them, just kill them all. Don't do it quietly, don't do it slowly. She starts shooting everybody. Same thing now, evil is seeing, smelling that the light of good is about to overcome and to diminish darkness, so it's going completely whack. It's diminished, it knows it's diminishing. V'liyot choshech, now what's going to be the result? Darkness. Strong darkness in the world. But then, the light of power, of good, will reveal.
The light and the dark, the Kabbalah symbolism. Interesting enough, notice all of the QAnon disinfo, Zionist psychological operation shills talking about dark to light all the time. Now we have reading from one of our last sources here. This is from Israel Shahak, I believe an Israeli scholar, Jewish history and Jewish religion. He says, they're commanded to exterminate Jewish infidels, appears in it in full. Quote, it is a duty to exterminate them with one's own hands. In the English translation, this is somewhat softened to, quote, it is a duty to take active measures to destroy them. But in the Hebrew text, goes on to specify that prime examples of, quote, infidels who must be exterminated, such as Jesus of Nazareth and his pupils. Jewish belief is that they must exterminate Christians. They believe they are idol worshippers. That is in violation of the 7 Noahide laws, and they will be decapitated, as I've covered in depth in some of my Noahide law videos and debates. Chabad.org, what does it say here? It is a mitzvah to kill minim and apikorsum. Apikorsum. A mitzvah to kill minim and apikorsum. What is minim and apikorsum? Minim refers to Jewish idolaters or those who perform transgressions for the sake of angering God. Even if one eats non-kosher meat for the sake of angering God and for the sake of... And apikorsum refers to Jews who deny the Torah and the concept of prophecy. So, hear this, all Jews that aren't on board with all of this insanity. If you don't believe in the Torah, you deny the Torah, and you deny the concept of prophecy, then it's a mitzvah for them to kill you even. If it's possible, one should kill them with a sword in public view. Imagine these lunatics. These lunatic Kabbalah rabbi look like wizards that have incredible power and influence over our world. One should develop a plan so that one can cause their deaths. That is so duplicitous. Kill them in sword in public. If you can't do that, plan it in secret. It's like the Talmud says, kill the Gentile that studies the Torah or that wants to sound the alarm on what the Jews believe. Again, from the Sefaria, it says, what is a minim? Remember, it's a mitzvah to kill the minim. Mitzvah to kill the minim, Chabad.org. There are 5 descriptions of Israelites that are called minim, infidels, namely, he who says that there is no God or that there are 2 or more deities. So the Trinity, Jesus, the original Christians were Jews, were Torah observant Jews. But if you don't follow the Torah, they're supposed to kill you. That's what they believe. Regarding apixorum, those who cling to idol worship, and those who convert from Judaism who write sacred texts. So the Jews who wrote the New Testament, basically, those who cling to idol worship, convert from Judaism, and the text, the New Testament, on weekdays, they should burn them with their divine names. So they want to burn all other religious books. That's what they believe. Meanwhile, they're always crying that, oh, the New Testament is so anti-Semitic. It should be warning labels. It should be banned. It should be retranslated. They want to burn them. Now, more on idol worship, what they consider idol worship. Surely you know the town. Okay, this is the Rebbe, Chabad Lubavitch Rebbe, talking to Ariel Sharon, the butcher, who was the prime minister of Israel on 9/11. Surely you know what the Talmud states. Why are they called Jews? Because they reject idol worship. Torah tells us that idol worship means anything foreign to the Jewish people. Idol worship is anything non-Jewish. So all the non-Jews need to be destroyed because they believe idol worship should be destroyed. Completely intolerant and psychopathic.
Kadosh Baruch Hu is telling you, you have to make a choice. Either you're 100% with Kadosh Baruch Hu, or you're with the rest of the garbage of the world. Right now we have almost 8 billion people in the world. 99.999% of them are Reshaim Gmurim.
Reshaim Goim. That's this word I just realized. The book that we read earlier. Oh, where is it? This one. Reshish Goyim. Oh, maybe that's not the same word. I think somebody said that meant evil. We covered that in the first half. But 99.99% of the world are garbage idol worshipers. All the Gentiles are garbage idol worshipers. That's what this Jewish supremacist says. Rabbi Reuven. Imagine if I debated Rabbi Reuven.
Right now we have almost 8 billion people in the world. 99.999% of them are Reshaim Gmurim. Christians, almost 2.5 billion of them, all idolaters.
All idolaters. All garbage.
What do you think? Kadosh Baruch Hu thinks there's tzaddikim?
I respect you, respect me.
Doesn't have to respect you.
Huh?
Doesn't have to respect you.
That is the right thing. Are you Jewish? Do you want to honor God? That is the godly thing to do. We respect one another.
The godly thing to do is to kill you.
The godly thing is to kill me.
That's right. That's
Yes?
what the Torah says.
That's what the Jew says in Israel that's confronting Christians preaching the gospel on the streets. He says, the Torah says for us to kill you. The godly thing for us to do is to kill you.
The Torah says to kill us.
The Torah says that people who worship idols such as yourself, when there is a Sanhedrin,
to kill us.
Yes.
Okay.
So Amalek is doubt. Amalek is atheist. Esau is Christianity. Ishmael is Islam. It's all idol worship, although Islam they consider kind of Noahide compliant, but it's heretical. They want to change it a whole lot, and they're in the process of doing that with some of the Arab traders out there, Muslim traders with Israel. But so if you're a non-believer, you're killed. You worship another religion, you're killed. You have to worship the God that supposedly chose them as his special nation. Otherwise, you have to be killed. That's their religion in a nutshell. Prove me wrong. Anybody, prove me wrong.
That's what the Torah
So
says.
we know how the Jewish people feel about Christians, yes? That you discriminate against Christians.
Christians are idol worshippers.
You discriminate against
Christians.
Christians.
The Torah says that Christianity is idol worship.
Let me
because
ask you.
worship three
Let me
gods.
ask.
So what's better? That they won't be afraid and stay goyim and die like goyim and will have no share to the world to come?
All right. My OBS shot out of me. Rabbi Mizrachi, once again, this is him lecturing non-Jews who don't observe the mitzvahs and aren't religious. He's saying you're going to be just like the goyim. You have no share in the world to come.
So what's better? That they won't be afraid and stay goyim and die like goyim and will have no share to the world to come?
Goyim have no share to the world to come. That's what they believe. Now, we have from Legends of the Jews, written by Jewish scholar and Rabbi Louis Ginsburg, says, Esau will vaunt lords, while Jacob will bring forth prophets. And if Esau has princes, Jacob will have kings. They, Israel and Rome, are the two nations destined to be hated by all of the world. One will exceed the other in strength. First, Esau will subjugate the whole world, but in the end, Jacob will rule over all. They're literally making law right now with the anti-Semitism definition that they're pushing worldwide, that we can't talk about any Jewish conspiracies about plots to rule the world when their whole damn religion is about them ruling the world and conquering the Gentiles. First, Esau, the Gentiles will subjugate the whole world, but in the end, the Jews will rule over all. The older of the two will serve the younger. Eruvin 43b from the Talmud says, the Messiah will come, but the Messiah himself may arrive. For once the Messiah, the Moshiach, comes, all the nations, all the Goyim means nations, will be subservient to the Jewish people. Once the Moshiach comes, all the Gentiles will be subservient to the Jewish people. Straight from the Talmud. And the word subservient is slave/servant in their own dictionary. Mishnah Torah Kings, Law of the Kings and Wars, another Jewish text, says, it is even written in the chapter of Balaam. Balaam is a Gentile prophet who they considered him a prophet because he foretold the destruction of the Gentiles in Edom, who prophesies about both the Messiahs, Moshiach ben Yosef and David. The first, Moshiach ben David, who saved Israel from her adversities. The final Messiah will be from his sons and will deliver Israel from the hands of the descendants. Once again, this is not symbolizing evil inclination or good and bad energies. This is nations. This is descendants. This is contemporary. This is an imminent threat on all the non-Jews in the world and the Jews that don't want to go along with this psychopathic agenda. Deliver Israel from the hands of the descendants of Esau. Edom, the Gentile nations, America, shall be a possession, and Edom shall become slaves to David, Moshiach ben David, their Messiah. Now, if anybody out there thinks like, oh, well, this is just the Talmud. These are the fake Jews that follow the Talmud and the Kabbalah. The Talmud and the Kabbalah are commentaries based upon the Torah. The Torah is the basis. They don't fundamentally alter any of the beliefs of the Torah. So we're going to read just a few Torah verses to close us out here about their psychopathic agenda, with the voice, of course, and a good drink of water.
Genesis 27:29. Let people serve thee and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's son bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blessed thee.
This is the verse that we hear the Christian Zionists repeat so often. This one verse alone has conned how many millions of Christian Zionists around the world to serve the Jews? and to be conned and tricked into believing that they will be blessed if they do good things for the Jews and if they ever criticize them. They teach, Schofield and Darby and Christian Zionism teaches that quote unquote anti-Semitism, so any criticism of Jews at all, is a sin. They've been conned by religion. Let the Goyim bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren. That means Jacob be Lord over Esau. The mother's sons, Jacob and Esau. This is what it's referring to. This is the birthright.
Isaiah 60:12. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Ye, those nations, shall be utterly wasted. Isaiah 61:6. But ye shall be named the priests of the Lord. Men shall call you the ministers of our God. Ye shall eat the riches of the Gentiles, and in their glory shall ye boast yourselves. Imagine worshiping a God that ever said this about the Gentiles. Imagine being a Gentile and worshiping a God that ever once said this. Micah 5:8, and the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles, in the midst of many people, as a lion among the beasts of the forest, as a young lion among the flocks of sheep. Interesting that Christians are also referred to as sheep, a flock that follows their Jewish shepherd. Who, if he go through, both treadeth down and teareth in pieces, and none can deliver. Jacob shall be a lion among the Gentiles. Isaiah 60:16. Thou shalt also suck the milk of the Gentiles, and shalt suck the breast of the kings of the Gentiles, and thou shalt know that I, the Lord, am thy Savior and thy Redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob. Luke 21:24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. First Esau subjugates the world, and in the end Jacob rules over all in the world to come.
And that is all I have for this, guys. This is going to be about a 3.5 hour presentation. The Jewish plan to conquer the Gentiles and rule the world. I don't think there's any disputing this. This is indisputable. This is irrefutable. I challenge anybody to debate me on this. You should all wonder, now that this is out there, anybody that's not talking about this, why would anybody not talk about this? People that cover conspiracies out there? Anybody not talking about this? Anybody gatekeeping this? Anybody too cowardly to talk about this? The people that are viciously attacking me with lies? Question all of these people. Where do you see anybody else exposing this genocidal agenda quite like this? Appreciate you all for watching. This is going to be posted on BitChute and Odyssey, brand new tube, PeerTube, the whole thing. Please share the video. It's going to be up on featured videos on nomorenews.org. It took so many, just countless, I would say hours, but it's like countless years studying obsessively to learn all of this and to share my knowledge and try to spread awareness about this threat. I can't do it without you. So much gratitude that everybody that's supported so far and helped No More News be possible and viable. I need your help now more than ever. The suppression and the censorship. We are digressing. We're struggling to get the word out. Please spread the message. Educate yourself. Educate others. Support my work. Support the channel. There's a contact page, donate page, latest videos, featured videos. Follow all the sites. Let's read through these super chats now. Oh, and speaking of Jacob and Esau, what do you guys think of this? Nice little green shirt with some yellow, nomorenews.org. Any other proud Amalekites out there? I know we got Amaleks in the chat. I'm thinking about printing this one. What do you guys think? Big yes in the chat if you'll pick up one of these. It'll be $20. Nicest t-shirt in your closet. High quality, made in America. The ones that I've been selling before. How about this one? Esau over Jacob. Imagine wearing this out. It says nomorenews.org on it too. I really need help getting the word out. Being banned everywhere and suppressed and the algorithms. If you can just wake up one person, they say, hey, what's that? nomorenews.org. They look it up. It's a walking billboard. Help spread the message. Esau over Jacob. Imagine a Jewish person that walks by and sees that. What are they going to say? Hey, how dare you? We're supposed to rule over you in the world to come. You are our slave, Gentile beast. Here's the other one. I just did get some of these printed. Just Viking theme with the runes and the Volknut, nomorenews.org. Nice green shirt. Be $20. Those will be on sale soon. All right, guys, I appreciate you so much for watching this. This really is an incredibly serious threat. Please help me get the word out. The future of humanity is really at stake. In the super chats here, we have Diamond from Bomsky, appreciate it. Marty Leeds says, Judaism is Satanism and Satan never wins. Hashtag Logos Rising. Well, according to Jewish Hollywood, the good guys always win. But in their stories, they're the good guys. So I certainly hope we win, but I don't want to have false hope. Marty Leeds, when are you going to come on and talk to us about Kabbalah? Marty Leeds says, Judaism is specifically Antichrist. Hashtag Logos Rising. D2D Live is so rough, says Duval. Philosopher donated a diamond. Appreciate you, Philosopher. You are awesome. Gifted some subscriptions from Philosopher as well. Pagan Bear received a subscription. Pagan Bear, I bet you're banned from Owen Benjamin's chat, huh, Pagan Bear? Will Owen Benjamin put up with a Pagan Bear? I don't know. Bonsai, free Philosopher, another diamond. Really appreciate you, man. Jacob tricked his elderly dad to screw over Esau. I know. It's their lesson. It's their patriarch is taught to deceive the Gentiles. It's sick. Yahweh was a war god from Canaan, not Most High. They are all in the government, so it will be easy. You know, I was thinking today, like in part one, I said that these top rabbis are like the sages of the Jewish community. They have influence over the influential Jews, the billionaire Jews. I can list example after example of Chabad billionaires throughout the world working in unison with the Rebbe. And I was thinking, the top media company in the world, Viacom, is owned by Sumner Redstone's daughter. She's an Orthodox Jew. She was married to Hasidic dynasty. A Hasidic Kabbalah Jerusalem-trained rabbi was the head of Viacom, which is the biggest media company in the world. If that's not influence, I don't know what is. High Impact Flicks hosting once again. Brian is so based, always supporting the channel. High Impact Flicks. Brian had him on last week. One of the best guys out there in alt media. Always supported the channel, trying to get the word out. Knows the truth when he sees it. Let's support Adam's work, my friend, says Brian from High Impact Flicks. Appreciate it, bro. There's an account named Number 6 with a couple diamonds. Number 6, the Sacred Six, the mystical. Marshall, another great mod and friend, Palestinian Marshall, says, thank you, Adam, for all your hard work. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for always being here. Stronger Than Evil says, thank you. Thank you for the diamond. Gemi is hosting. Appreciate you, Gemi or Gemi. Philosopher, again, another diamond, says, thank you, Adam, for everything you do. Thank you. Cupcake Earlobes, Wolf Kane, Lady Z, got some Philosopher 1 month subscriptions. You guys are awesome. I will see you guys again very soon. Please help me get this out. It's going to be posted soon, the full thing. Help me get this out. I know it's hard to share a title of a video that says the Jewish plan to conquer the Gentiles and rule the world, but I mean, should I sugarcoat it? This is what it is. There's no other way to put it. Adam Green, No More News. Appreciate you all. I'll see you guys again soon for a new stream. Take care.